Okay, hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar on the Bachelor of Health Sciences at Flinders University. Sorry for starting a few moments late, we are just waiting for a few latecomers to enter the webinar, but I will get started. So you're here today perhaps because you're considering studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences at Flinders, or maybe you've already submitted an application. Health Sciences is one of those really broad degrees which can be studied in a lot of different ways, and today I'll be running through with you some of those options, or all of those options, and different ways to study the degree. Hopefully a little bit later on in this webinar I will have Clary join me, and he's a current student studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences, and he's actually studying it with the Masters of Occupational Therapy as well. So he'll be able to give you a bit more of an idea in regards to the health sciences from a student perspective. So please make sure if you have any questions, type them into the chat box and we'll be able to answer them for you as we go along as well. My name's Nicole, I work in the Prospective Students Office here at Flinders University, so it's my job to help anyone thinking of coming to university know about their pathways into the courses and the variety of different ways you can study the courses. So to get things started, we'll kick straight off with the course overview. So for the Bachelor of Health Sciences, there are no prerequisite topics to study this degree, meaning there's no topics in Year 12 that you need to complete in order to be eligible to apply for this degree. It can be studied at a full-time load, and if you do, that will take 3 years to complete. A full-time study load is 4 topics a semester, and there's 2 semesters in a year. However, if you would like to, you can also wish to study it part-time, meaning you're perhaps doing 1 or 2 topics a semester. Obviously, if you do go part-time, it does prolong the duration of the degree, but that's certainly an option for you if that's something you'd like to do. Health Sciences also has a mid-year intake, so if you would like to delay your start time for any reason, you can actually begin this degree mid-year, so meaning in June, July, and there's no disadvantage to doing that at all, obviously, just that you start a semester later. There's a lot of different highlights that do happen within the Bachelor of Health Sciences, and there's a lot of different areas that it can teach you. So as I've mentioned, it's a really broad degree, I guess, unlike something like nursing or physiotherapy, where you study physiotherapy or nursing and come out as a physiotherapist or a nurse. The Bachelor of Health Sciences can be used in a huge range of different fields, and some of those are listed on the next slide as well. But there's key sector insights, and there's some really great future growth opportunities within country health, ageing, digital health, health technology, social enterprise, and health research as well. That's just some of them. It's a really flexible degree and can be tailored to what you wanted to go to essentially. So a little bit of background to the Bachelor of Health Sciences as a standalone degree. You can see that it does lead to a variety of jobs. Some of those are listed there in the smaller writing. That's just some of the jobs this can lead to. Really, this is a degree where you can use your imagination and it can take you there if it's in the health sector. It can give you some really great foundational skills that you can build on, or potentially can be used as a pathway into postgraduate study. What postgraduate study is once you've completed an undergraduate degree, which the Bachelor of Health Sciences is, you then are eligible to go into postgraduate study. So unless you've completed a full degree before, you are an undergraduate student. Postgraduate study can vary in a lot of different forms as well. You can choose to go on to honours, masters or doctorates if you wish to. And a lot of these will actually be based around perhaps what you choose to study as your major within the Bachelor of Health Science. So within the Bachelor of Health Sciences, you do have to choose a major that you'd like to tailor your study towards. So these are the majors listed up on the screen here that you can choose from. You've got disability and community rehab, environmental and public health, health management, health promotion, life sciences, public health, and therapy studies. You can see there that I've added in for nutrition that if you choose the nutrition major within your Bachelor of Health Sciences, then this can be used as a pathway into nutrition and dietetics. This is not guaranteed though. It is still competitive, meaning you do need to work hard to get a good grade point average, GPA, and use that to apply. Nutrition is a little bit special as well if you are wanting to go into nutrition and dietetics, because there is a third year transfer program that you can look into. If that's something you are interested in about and perhaps would like some further details, make sure you type that into the chat box and I can explain that to you perhaps at the end of this presentation. So depending on which major you choose can sometimes, help you decide which area you'd like to work in ultimately once you complete this degree. So therapy studies, if you were to choose this major, then this can also be used as a pathway into the Masters of Physiotherapy or the Masters of Occupational Therapy as well. However, if you perhaps like the idea of working in the community, working in disability, working with a variety of different people, then perhaps you'd be looking at the disability and community rehab major. It really does depend where you want to work. I do know that someone is currently studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences with the disability major, as his goal is to go and do postgraduate study in the Masters of Audiology, and he understands that a lot of people that perhaps do have hearing issues are quite often living with a disability. So that's why he's chosen to do the Bachelor of Health Sciences as an undergraduate degree first, to get that solid understanding before he goes on to postgraduate study in audiology. If you're perhaps not sure which major to choose within your health sciences, don't stress out. That's what we can help you out with. And this is certainly not something you need to worry about right now. You can choose your major, or you will be choosing your major, once you've been made an offer into the degree. As part of the enrolment process, that's when you'll be choosing your major. So you've still got time to think about it and consider it. And if you need to, you can change your major throughout the duration of your health sciences degree. It does mean sometimes that it can prolong the duration of your degree a little bit, because there's certain topics that you need to tick off between each of the different majors. So the best way I can describe this to you is the next slide I have is a course study program for the Bachelor of Health Sciences, and this one's where they're majoring in the Life Sciences major. So you might be able to see here on the top layer here, this is your first year topics. So as I mentioned before, a full-time study load is 4 topics a semester, and there's 2 semesters in a year. So this is your first semester here. They're your 4 topics that you'll be completing. You've got a biology topic, a chemistry topic which you can choose between, and 2 health topics. These are topics you need to complete. They're health topics. However, these sides of things, these are more where your specialisation will come into play. So things like your chemistry for life sciences, that's a tailored topic that you need to do to complete your life sciences major. If you'd chosen a nutrition major, then these would have some nutrition topics within it as well. If you did want information about what you're studying within each major, I can perhaps show you that at the end of the presentation through the website and where to get that information. You won't be able to get one of these study plans until you made an offer and begin the enrolment process, but I can show you exactly what topics you'll be studying as a part of the whole degree, if that's something you're interested in, depending on what your major is. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what your study would look like. You do have a few different other ways to study the Bachelor of Health Sciences. So you can study it alone as the Bachelor of Health Sciences and graduate with the Bachelor of Health Sciences, or if you wish to, you can choose to combine it with something. So the difference between a combined degree option and a double degree option is a combined degree option is a choice. You can choose to combine it with something if you wish to. Whereas a double degree, these degrees are only offered with the Bachelor of Health Sciences. So you're not actually able to study the Master of Occupational Therapy without studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences first at Flinders University. So these are double degrees and these are your combined degrees. So there's 3 degrees you can combine the Bachelor of Health Sciences with. You can combine it with the Bachelor of Business in Human Resource Management, but you would need to choose the Health Management major. You can also combine it with a Bachelor of Commerce or Innovation and Enterprise in Business as well. So these are all options that have their own SATAC code, So if you are wanting to combine your health science degree with another degree, it does have a separate SATAC code. As you can see, it does also include the duration, expand the duration of the degree. So a health sciences degree is 3 years generally. If you combine it with another degree, then you're looking at it becoming 4 years. Combining a degree or doing a double degree does not mean it's double the work. So what it means is it just prolongs the duration of your degree. Okay, so you would be doing the same amount of work as if you were doing one degree, except that you just have to study that a little bit longer. So you do walk away with 2 degrees, 2 certificates at the end of it, but it just means that quite a few of the topics overlap, so they can be combined if you wish. So some of these double degrees listed, especially things, or 2 of them in particular, the Bachelor of Health Sciences with the Master of Physiotherapy or the Master of Occupational Therapy, they have quite competitive selection ranks to get into, which is why a lot of people do choose to study the health sciences as a pathway into the Master of Occupational Therapy and Physiotherapy. And I'll explain a little bit more about that down the track as well. Of course, Bachelor of Health Sciences can be used in a lot of other areas as well. So as I've mentioned, physiotherapy and occupational therapy are really popular choices, but it's definitely not the be-all and end-all. You can choose to go into nutrition and dietetics. You can go into audiology, speech pathology, disaster healthcare, disability study, applied gerontology, health and international development, public health, disability policy, and practice. Where it does get a little bit confusing is if there's something there that really sparks your interest and you'd perhaps like to do further study in that once you've completed your health science degree, maybe some of these are better suited to certain majors within the health sciences. This is where you can have a chat to us and we can talk to you about the major that perhaps might be most appropriate for you if your goal is to get into speech pathology or public health. We can talk to you about those options if that's something you want to explore. Now, the next one we have is flexible and transferable skills. So within this degree, it's not just a basic degree. This teaches you a really broad range of skills. It will teach you communication skills, it will teach you the health knowledge, social accountability and equity. There's a huge range of skills that you will learn as part of this degree. It's really holistic and it prepares you for a number of different careers. Whether that's in nutrition, whether that's in communities, in councils, it covers you for that side of things. We do have a student, or quite a few students obviously, that are studying it, but one of them in particular has mentioned that studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences will give you the opportunity to build on professional skills, learn how to research and think critically, work with a variety of professionals, study postgraduate and specialise, and learn to think critically. These are the things that he pulled out as perhaps some of the most important things that he's learned as part of his health sciences degree. These are points that are really important. You may have heard the term learning to think critically, and you may think you already know how to think critically, but I can guarantee that within this degree you'll come out rethinking what you already know. So research is another important area. Even if you don't want to go into research and perhaps go on to do your PhD, that's not a problem, but we give you the skills and the foundations to do research, which I can almost guarantee will be used in every form of job in some small way. So it's a really holistic degree that will prepare you for the workforce in a number of different areas. So undergraduate applicants, as I'm sure most of you have already done, need to happen through SATAC. There is an early offer round on December 20. If you don't receive an offer to this, do not stress out. It is only for people that have guaranteed entry and have it listed as their first preferences. Okay, the main offer round is on Tuesday, 15th of January. Some offers will be made before this date. Again, don't bank on it. Don't bank on it at all. It's definitely not the end of the world. However, if you are considering studying at university at all, in any degree within South Australia and Northern Territory, you need to get your SATAC application in by Friday, 28th of September. After that date, you do get quite a hefty late fee. And when I say that, it's over $100, so make sure you get that in before the 28th of September so that you avoid that late fee. If you don't know, you do have until December 3, but keep in mind that you can change your preferences around right up until the January 3rd. So that's when you can change your mind from, if you've got your heart set on health sciences right now, but perhaps get inspired and decide you want to become an engineer, you can change your preferences around right up until January 3. So make sure that you just submit your application and then you're not locked into anything. Even after that date, you can still change your preferences around once your offer has been made. But speaking of your SATAC application, it is really important that you back up your options. So what I mean by that is adding in preferences that are perhaps lower and less competitive than the degree you really want to get into. So we have something here called the Bachelor of Disability and Developmental Education Health Sciences Pathway. This is a pathway program aimed at getting you specifically into the Bachelor of Health Sciences. If you're here today, it's because you've got a health sciences or you're considering studying health sciences. Then I strongly recommend that somewhere lower on your SATAC application, you list this degree. The way it works is it only goes for 1 year. So you'll see here, duration 1 year. Whoops, too far. Your duration is 1 year. This means it's basically giving you a chance to prove that you can study. So you complete this 1 year program, receive a credit average. So a GPA is what you'll get after you complete a minimum of 4 topics. You need to retain a GPA of 5. 7 is the highest GPA you can get. So if you're on a 7 GPA, you're averaging on high distinctions for every assignment and assessment. A GPA of 6 is more of your distinction average, and a GPA of 5 is like your credit average. That's what you need to get as part of this degree. Okay, so to go on into the Bachelor of Health Sciences from 2nd year on. So if you, I'm getting distracted because we do have a current student who's just about to walk in and join us as well. So I'll introduce you to Clary in a minute. But just to further explain this one, your worst case scenario is if you're made an offer into this pathway degree, then you will complete this for 1 year, go on, pass it at a credit average, and then you'll actually go straight into 2nd year of your Bachelor of Health Sciences. So you wouldn't actually be losing out on any time. You're just proving that you can study and that you're capable of completing the Bachelor of Health Sciences. So if you haven't already, list this in your SATAC application somewhere lower down, just as a bit of a backup, just as a safety net. An example of other safety nets and perhaps how SATAC applications may look are some examples up on the screen. So for this one, I've used the Bachelor of Health Sciences, Master of Occupational Therapy. This person really wants to get into occupational therapy, which is what Clary here is doing. And his application perhaps would have looked a little bit like this a couple of years ago as well. So this person has the Bachelor of Health Sciences listed with the Master of Occupational Therapy as their #1 preference because this is what they want most. All right, it does have quite a competitive entry score to get into, but even if they know they're not going to get this score, I recommend leaving it as your first preference because you never know how those entry scores can fluctuate. However, they've also backed it up with the straight Bachelor of Health Sciences. Because as I mentioned, if this person was made an offer into the Health Sciences degree, but perhaps not the double degree, then they could start in the Bachelor of Health Sciences, complete the therapy studies major, and then they can apply to transfer using their grade point average into the Bachelor of Health Sciences, Master of Occupational Therapy down the track if they choose. And it's really likely that they'd receive a large amount of credit transfer because the topics would align really well. And then a backup to the health sciences is the Bachelor of Disability and Developmental Education Health Sciences pathway. So this is how we would recommend you would preference your SATAC application if you are going for one of those really competitive degrees like occupational therapy and physiotherapy, where you do need to complete the health sciences degree as a part of it anyway. If you did want to boost your degree and perhaps take it to the next level, you certainly have an opportunity to do that with the Bachelor of Health Sciences. You can actually add on something called the Bachelor of Letters. So what this means is the Bachelor of Letters is created to boost your degree and I guess cater for perhaps a hobby or an interest you might have or an area you perhaps like to work in down the track. This is not something you need to apply for through SATAC. This is something that you can actually add on to your degree once you've been made an offer and you're enrolling in your topics. So the Bachelor of Letters is 1 extra year, so it will turn your Health Sciences degree from a 3-year degree into a 4-year combined degree. So you'd be looking at receiving a Bachelor of Health Sciences plus a Bachelor of Letters in the specialisation that you choose. So if you would like to pursue a hobby or an interest in creative writing, you can do that as well, and it means you get to tailor your study to exactly what you want. As I said, this is not something you need to worry about right now, but it's something to perhaps consider down the track if you're wanting to boost your degree. So what's next for you guys is you need to complete your SATAC application, complete your preferences, and if you're not sure of how to list your preferences, then make sure you get in touch with us. We can always help you with that. If you are currently in Year 12 and you're waiting your school results, make sure you give us a call once you do receive your ATAR, and we'll be able to tell you what your adjusted ATAR is with bonus points or adjustment factors is. But you do need to call a university and we can let you know that. We can also discuss your pathway options. So what I might do now is there's a couple of questions coming through to me on the chat box, so I might have a quick read of them while I hand it over to Clary, who is a current student with us. I introduced him without him being here at the start. He's currently studying the Bachelor of Health Sciences with the Master of Occupational Therapy. And what I might get Clary to do is just talk briefly about his experience as a Flinders student studying health sciences at the moment. And just some of the topics that he's studying and the major that you're studying as part of it as well. Yep. If you have any questions for Clary, please feel free to send them through the chat box and we will look at them as well.
Okay.
Come have a chat.
Thanks. So I'm currently in my 2nd year of the Health Sciences part of my degree. Halfway through the 2nd year. Currently, I'm really enjoying it. I've met a lot of really good friends through my degree. Something that's really good about the OT stream that I've found is it's a pretty tight cohort. There's only about 50 of us students that get let in, so you do find yourselves in the same topics as all your other friends in the degree. So you do build some friendships really easily, which I've really enjoyed. Saying that, there's a lot of other degrees that you'll also be completing your topics with. So where I'm completing my section of health sciences at a campus called STIRT, which is pretty much a health sciences campus with disability education as well. And I've done my topics with paramedic students, I've done it with physio students, basic Bachelor of Health Science students. And so I've met a lot of people who are studying a range of different allied health degrees. In your first year in the health sciences part of the degree, you get a pretty broad overview of what the health system is like and all the other health degrees that are available for you all. So I thought it was a really good introduction to the degree, so I could work out what OT was first of all, but also what every other kind of allied health degree would be, to make sure it is the place I want to go. Learning more about the other degrees also kind of gave me a better understanding of what's out there, and if I wanted to, maybe change my mind, I'd have that knowledge as well. In my first year, I did get to do something pretty fun in one of my OT specific topics, which was a day's placement of observation, where they let me go out and observe a day's placement at an OT practice, which is a paediatrics place at one of the private primary schools, Natharis. So I got to observe what they would do in their daily life and their daily routines, what kind of skills you'd need, and that was a really good introduction to OT as a practice, and I really gained a lot from that. Is there anything else you think of?
Well, no, I mean, if there's any questions that you as viewers would perhaps like to ask Clary as a Flinders student, feel free to do so. We have had a question come through in regards to this person was perhaps looking at studying postgraduate audiology, and they've asked which major would be suitable within the Bachelor of Health Sciences. In all honesty, that will really come down to you and what you would like to focus your study on From the top of my head, the Masters of Audiology doesn't have any prerequisites that you need to complete. It's just an undergraduate degree. So this is where perhaps something like the disability stream might be really useful, because as I mentioned, people working in audiology quite often do have to work with people living with disability. So something like that could work, but it really is entirely up to you with that one, if I'm correct in thinking that the Masters of Audiology doesn't have any entry requirements. But that's something I can perhaps double check for you as well. But yeah, if there's any other questions at all, Clary is in his second year, as he mentioned. So he did mention that he's largely based down at Sturt. So if you haven't been to the Flinders campus before, we are based at Bedford Park. And Sturt is a part of that same main campus, but it's about a 5-10 minute walk down the hill. It's a beautiful walk through a forest. And that's where that little hub is, where a lot of your classes will be as well. So you still have access to the main student hub and plaza, and all of the coffee opportunities and food plazas as well. But a lot of your classes will be based down at the Sturt campus. So if there's no more questions coming through at all, I think what we might do is we'll turn off our video and microphone, and if you do have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box and we'll stick around for a few minutes after this presentation. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you on campus next year. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, bye.
Thanks.